Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hard Nine podcast. Today is Cinco de Mayo, May the 5th, and the Cardinals are coming off losing two of three to the Chicago White Sox, the worst team in the American League, and arguably the worst team in baseball, which does
Not
make you ask a
arguably. It's
whole
not
lot
even
of
arguable.
questions, about who are the St. Louis Cardinals.
The Chicago White Sox coming into this series had one road win on the year. They tripled that.
Hey, shout out to the White Sox. Let's go.
Paul DeYoung had more hits in this series than Lars Nootbaar, Nolan Gorman, Brendan Donovan, and Mason Wynn combined, I think.
All right. I mean, hey, at least we're consistent. Look, did you see the stat? Look, just to start, I think through the first two games, whatever it was that Ciani, Nolan, and Wilson were with runners in scoring position was like, I don't know, 10 for
It,
whatever.
it wasn't
And
with
the
runners in scoring position. It was just in general.
and the rest of the team was 1 for 51 or something like that.
Yeah, could you imagine if we had 51 opportunities with runners in scoring position that series? Yeah, no, it was just in general. Yeah, they're all. I mean, they're bad.
What like I don't okay, so we came on last time and we spent the last podcast. By the way, thank you all for joining us because we know shit right now is going south. We said, is it going to fall off the cliff? It does feel that way. I know that it is only May the 5th. Hope you enjoyed some tacos and some margaritas like we did. So hopefully you got to do that today. At least you got some enjoyment out of that. Um, but we spent last podcast talking about the terribleness of this offense. I don't even know what to say. Like, you would think that at some point someone would do something.
They did. Nolan Arenado did yesterday. And then Lance Lynn blew it because he can't throw strikes to Chicago White Sox hitters. And then you had bases loaded in the 10th inning, nobody out. Lars
Yes.
Nootbaar doesn't even look like a hitter. Like, I'm not even gonna say major league hitter. He doesn't look like a baseball player right now. And then Mason Wynn strikes out. Mainly because it was raining so hard he probably couldn't see the baseball. Thank you, umpires. Then we get an 0-1 count on Gorman, and then they call it. So now Ivan Herrera has to come in the game against a lefty, and an 0-1 count
Yeah.
to win the game or lose it. How the hell is he going to succeed there? And then he strikes out because CB Buckner is one of the worst umpires to ever walk this planet. Once again, not saying major league umpire, just umpires in general. So like at that point, like it's pathetic the way that this team is playing. Like 1 through 9, no. Everyone that would named Wilson Contreras. That's what I'll say.
CB Buckner is absolute trash, as is Angel Hernandez, as is Ron Culpa, as is you can fill in the blanks, right? We know that. However, to be fair, just to be fair, he should have been called out on strike three. Like, it was close enough that
No, that's
throughout
a
the day,
ball. It's a ball.
that had been called a strike. That's
It's a
all I'm saying.
ball.
Okay.
I
That's
don't
why
care throughout the day. I'm so tired of that. Throughout the day, bullshit. It's a ball or it's a strike, and it was a ball. The hitter did his job. Hitting's way harder than pitching. He did his
I,
job.
I understand all of that. I'm
Get
not,
the ABS system in here, please. We
yes,
can't do
agreed.
this anymore.
I'm not
I'm
going to
tired of
blame
it.
CB Buckner for
And
this
but here's the
loss.
thing. Here's the thing about that game. No, that's not his fault, but that doesn't make it excusable. Because what if the next pitch Ivan Herrera hits a single? Like I don't know if he would have done that, probably not. But we never got to see the alternate reality where the big game was called the way it should. Either way, yeah, they lost that game solely because of them. But my whole point is they got the moment. They needed a moment from Nolan Arenado to get them the lead down 1 run. He hits a 3-run homer to center field, which he has never once done at that stadium, by the way. He finally does it, and they lose. So like we can sit here and say, is someone going to have a big moment? Yes. It doesn't. You can't have only one guy doing it.
Lot of takes on Twitter today, obviously, which
Mm-hmm.
deservedly so,
Yeah.
about someone needs to be fired. Now, as someone who is never the just to fire someone, that
Mm-hmm.
rarely ever works in sports, just so everybody knows. They might
And
go
this
on
is
a little
hockey.
it's still like, okay, so the Blues went on a little run and they still didn't make the fucking playoffs.
They won the Stanley
So,
Cup when you're doing it, though.
oh, that is a massive anomaly,
I'm
right? I
saying that's the
mean,
only sport where it seems to
right.
actually work sometimes. That's what I'll
So
say.
this whole fire someone, as if that's going to fire the group up and make them hit better. If that is the case, by the way, then we might have the weakest minded group of humans ever assembled on a Major League Baseball team.
Yeah.
Please understand, I'm not saying that maybe there shouldn't be a change. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that just because you take Turner Ward, let's just use him as an example, because that does feel where the most of the vitriol is coming towards, which I completely understand. We've talked about that the last three podcasts. If
Mm-hmm.
you eliminate him and you bring, who are you going to bring in? First of all, that's one. And two, why do we believe that now you bring in a new guy that we probably don't even know who it is, and now all of a sudden the Cardinals are going to start hitting? If that is the case, I will go back to what I said just 2 seconds ago, that we have the weakest minded humans of all time in a major league lineup. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I want to be more earnest. There's something I want to talk about with Nolan later that I thought was pathetic. That we need to get to at the end of this game. But I want to start with Turner Ward. I don't know. I don't know what he's telling them. I don't know. Here's what I do know. The year Jeff Albert left and the year Nolan Arenado, the year after Jeff Albert left, Nolan Arenado started trying to hit the ball the other way. Why? Why is that a thing? You know what I do know? The last year Jeff Albert was here, the Cardinals were number one in pulled fly balls. You know what the WRC plus is in Major League Baseball last year on balls that are pulled in the air? 383. The Cardinals are now last in pulled fly balls. 2 years. They went from best to worst under Warner. He should be gone.
Well,
he should be fired today.
zero argument, but you are also speaking to, and this is no offense to the people listening, we greatly appreciate all of you. And I'm not saying that we weren't even part of this at one point in time or not, although I do believe I was not. However, the majority of people in Cardinal fandom wanted Jeff Albert run out of town on a
That's
rail.
fine. That's fine. But and a lot of that was some of that was fair because Tommy Edman legitimately came out and said they didn't have a good approach. That happened. But in terms of 2022, Jeff Albert did a great job. The Cardinals as a whole did a great job. But that stat, they had their first 8 fly balls today. They had the Cardinals today. Coming into today, they had the worst fly ball rate pulled percentage wise. The first 8 fly balls today by the Cardinals were hit the other way.
So can I ask you something?
Why is this happening? I don't understand.
Hold on. As someone who is a logical human, which I do believe you are, and I do believe the majority of our listeners and followers are also logical human beings, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Last year, the Cardinals were a top 10 offense. With Turner Ward at the helm, they were in almost every category.
19th in runs scored.
Until
I get it, but okay,
you were on Twitter today defending that.
In the first half, they were, yes, but I'm just saying we can't say as a whole they were.
Okay, but they were until they lost Donovan Newbar and Nolan Arenado got shut down. You can't count those afterwards. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
Okay, so you knew what I was saying there.
I was just saying because someone in the comments would say that they.
I don't care. They're not a logical thinking human. So I don't know what to say about that.
I'm just saying there's context to it. But yes.
Either way, you know where I'm going. Like you literally, this is the exact same team.
Mm-hmm. Well,
except you have Mason Wynn.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't tell me that over like top 10 offense and Turner Warner went home in the offseason said, we're going to change and do things to where these guys can't hit. That's all I'm trying to say is that like, I'm not saying you shouldn't fire him. I'm not making a statement there one way or the other, but why was Turner Ward good last year? But now all of a sudden he sucks because our hitters are not performing like they did last year.
I don't know if he was good last year. Nolan Arenado was bad last year.
But the rest of the team was not, Caleb. That's what I'm saying.
Goldschmidt, down year. Wilson Contreras awful in the first half. Hold on, let me finish. Lars Nootbaar up and down the entire year. Jordan Walker had to be sent down last year. Like Tyler O'Neill, bad last year. Like, I mean, as a whole, they were decent. Nolan Gorman had some good stretches. Here's the thing, though. Like, I was listening on 101. They had a hitting coach on. I don't remember who it was. They said their number one job is obviously game planning, all that, but it's also to get guys out of slumps. We have 8 guys slumping right now, and none of them have gotten out of it. So I don't even know if it's Turner Ward's fault. It's probably not. But I know for sure he's not doing anything good. He's not doing one thing that is helping anybody. So if you want to say hitting coaches aren't important, then it doesn't matter if you fire him. But if you want to say they are important, then he definitely should be fired. So either way, like I don't even know once again if it's his fault or not. I do know that they need some kind of shakeup, whether that's just a new voice that tells something to someone that just gets them clicking in the right direction. That'd be great. But at the very least, he's not doing anything right. And this is year 2 of this team going down a path that it seems like they're going to miss the playoffs again. And we're trading everybody at the deadline. They've got to do something.
What I'm trying to say is right now you, the logical human I'm talking about, are speaking in emotion right now. And I'm not saying you're wrong. Please understand that.
It's 2 years of it.
Last year, they were top 10 until the 3 guys, Donovan, Newbar, and Nolan, essentially were shut down. Okay?
Yeah. Well, not Nolan, but yeah, the other 2.
The reason they lost last year was because of pitching, not because of hitting.
Or yeah, maybe, but also how inconsistent.
What do you mean? Hold on.
Hold on. how how inconsistent did we say the offense was at times where they went on they had a week last year where they were awful, like multiple weeks where they were awful, but we were saying it was because the pitching was bad. So yeah, the offense was very inconsistent. It had some really great moments. I'm wondering if the pitching was so bad that it just masked it, that we just saw the pitching and being as bad as it was, and we just chalked it up as that was the only thing that went wrong.
It could be now. Ollie's comments today were essentially that he believes in like Turner is doing a great
He
job.
has to say that.
I understand that. He doesn't have
And
to
he might
say it,
believe
but yeah,
that. He might believe
right.
that. But yeah, I mean, that's what he should say. And he might believe that. And I don't doubt that these players like Turner Ward. But honestly, that might be even more reason. Hey, you guys got him fired. It was on you.
I
Like,
and
honestly,
again,
Dad, at this point, something has to change. You cannot, it's May 5th. This team just lost to the worst team I have ever seen play baseball. 2 out of 3 at
can
home.
I say I'm going to say this, and I know you probably won't agree with me, and that's fine. A lot of people will not agree with me. I don't know who you bring in, and I don't know that it matters if you want to shake up things until there's a shakeup at the top. That's what I'll say. And I don't even mean Mo. I mean until we have somebody who's willing to, for 1 year. We talk about this as Pelicans fans and Saints fans. Well, Pelicans, not Saints. Pelicans fans all the time. Go over the fucking luxury tax for 1 year. Let's see what happens. Let's
Yeah.
spend some money. Like,
But
I'm
that to
sorry.
me feels like we're getting away from the conversation that felt more pressing at the time.
What I guess what I'm saying is what I'm trying to say is fine, fire Turner Ward, bring in whomever you want. You're not going to bring in Kevin Long. He's not coming here, okay? So you're not bringing him. He's in Philly. He's very happy. He is the guru of hitting. I get it.
Well, yeah,
But whoever you bring in, it's going to be somebody probably within the organization. It's not going to be
maybe.
Matt Holliday. It's not going to be Jim Edmonds like everybody is screaming about. It's
Oh,
sure as hell not going
please
to be
don't say
Albert
that.
Pujols or Yadier Molina. So let's stop, okay?
If
Let's
you
stop all that
imagine
talk.
bringing in Yadi as a hitting coach.
Like, good Lord. But that's what you would think that's what's going to happen, okay? They're not, Mark McGuire's not coming back. So whoever you bring in, I have a hard time believing that this guy walks in with, he's so fucking good at his job that right now he doesn't have one.
It's
So
not
he's
even
so good at
about
his
this.
job.
But that is not even about that. That's the thing for me. It's not even about that. You cannot do this again.
Here,
Look at their attendance right now. Look at
yeah, it's
it.
bad.
Like they are losing. This
This
organization is on the precipice of becoming irrelevant. We're talking
and
about the second best, or hold on, please. The second best organization in Major League Baseball
fired up,
of all
Caleb.
time, the second best of all time, is on the verge of becoming a completely irrelevant laughing stock of the game. They're becoming that right now. Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt are gone in 2 months if this doesn't get fixed.
Can
So
I
I
tell?
don't care if Turner Ward is the nicest Southern boy there ever was.
Is
He is
he?
not
Is he
doing
Southern?
anything. I think so. He said the word gooder in an interview. I don't care. He said hit gooder. He said that. I
Oh,
don't
geez.
care. I don't care. And yeah, it's not fair to him. I get it. But good Lord, guys. The Yankees, he'd be fired if we were the
All,
Yankees. He'd be
all,
fired if we were the Dodgers.
all
Gone.
I'm trying to tell you, all I'm saying is I'm not disagreeing with anything that you're saying. Okay, I want everyone to know that I'm not coming on here trying to save Turner Ward's job. What I'm saying is, I personally believe firing Turner Ward is putting a band-aid on a fucking bullet wound. That's all I'm
Maybe. They're
saying.
not putting anything
That's
on it, isn't it?
that maybe I don't know. Is it? I don't know.
You're
That's
bleeding
all
out
I'm
either way, but
saying.
maybe you'll live another 5 seconds.
Is okay. So we went to like that. I don't
Here's the
think that
thing,
this.
Dad, though. Like, here's the thing. And I get what you're saying. And once again, I'm not even blaming Turner Ward. I don't even know if it's his fault. I do know that the offense is supposed to be good, and it's not even just bad or mediocre. It's the worst in the National League. So I don't know how you can
It's the
possibly
worst
keep
in
your job at
baseball.
that rate. Right, it's one of them. I think the White Sox are worse, who they just lost to, by the way. I don't even care if it's his fault. I
Hey,
don't. I don't even
you,
think it is, but he should be gone.
would you like to know what's scarier than that? And I would love to know who I could give credit to, but I did have a few margaritas and a few tacos, and I don't remember who tweeted it. But that if you look at the starting pitchers' numbers, honestly, Sonny Gray is the only one with a solid FIP. Everybody else looks really fucking bad, which tells me
Yeah,
we've talked about the regression to the mean of our starters. We saw it today with Lance, or yesterday, sorry, with
yesterday,
Lance.
yeah.
Unfortunately, we'll talk about Libby in a little bit.
He was good
Um,
today.
yeah, I want to talk about that totally separate of what the game happened today.
And Sonny's been so good.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's all I'm trying to tell you is fine. Let's go ahead and fire Turner Ward. That's fine. That's not going to make this team a competitive team, is all I'm trying to tell you.
No,
In my belief, I
well,
hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm totally wrong. I hope the next week we've won
mhm.
6 games in a row and
Yeah,
I'm fucking wrong. I'm just letting you
we
know
might be the
that
only team in baseball that hasn't swept a series yet.
that in my mind, firing Turner Ward, like I said, is not going to solve the problems of this organization that they have created over the last 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to say.
And it might and it won't. Okay, I'm not gonna say it might not. It will not, obviously. But I don't think there is one logical reason anyone could give me for saying that he should not be fired.
I don't. I'm not arguing. But here's what I'm saying.
Like
Here's
and
what happens. Here's what I
yeah,
see happening. They're going to fire Turner Ward, right? Fine. This continues probably to happen. The offense at some point might come around at least to be
it
better than they
has
are
to.
because it has to. Correct. However, it's still not going to be competitive because of the regression of our starting pitching that I believe is due to happen. All right.
Maybe
So then
though,
what's going
but
to happen? Hold
okay,
on, let me finish. At the
go
trade
ahead.
deadline, you're going to fire Ollie, and then you're going to trade Goldie and Nato. And now we're starting all the way over with guys that we don't even know if they're fucking good. We don't know if Newbar's good. We think he is. We don't know if Brendan
Okay,
Donovan's good. We think he is. We don't know if Nolan Gorman is an everyday middle or infielder. I think he is, but right now he is not showing it.
oh,
Jordan Walker's at AAA. That's all I'm
mhm.
trying to say. Wilson Contreras, what are you going to do with him? That poor guy is now stuck in purgatory.
Okay, we're getting they're 4 games under 500 still. Like the season's not over. But yes, here's my thing though. With what you just said is true, and we end up going down this path again of having to sell. And this year, it's not just going to be we're selling rentals. It's we're selling everyone making money. That's the way it's
Correct.
going to go. If people will take these guys at this point, like we might have to give Goldie away with a freaking gift bag saying thank you for taking him
A
to
case of
save us some
toasted
money.
raviolis from Emos.
My gosh, we have to give Nolan Arenado away and give the team $50 million. We might be the Rockies to take the guy. And honestly, that might have to happen at this point. But that's once again getting ahead of ourselves. Now I don't know what I was saying. Oh, if that is true, and we don't know what Donovan and Nootbaar and Gorman are, because right now we know they're really bad right now. They might be good later. They were good before. Then, and these guys aren't performing, isn't it then still worth getting a new guy in here to see if they can help him? Because here's what I'm
Agreed.
saying. If you're Turner Ward or any hitting coach and you can't get Jordan Walker right at the big league level 2 years in a row, what are you doing? What are you helping? Who are you helping? You're not helping Goldie. You're not helping Nolan. You're not helping Jordan Walker. You're not helping Donovan. You're not helping Gorman. You're not helping Newpark. What is he doing? How is he? What's he making money for? Is he just
That's
getting
what's,
paid to sit there? Like he might work
hold
hard, but
on.
he's not
Let
doing
me,
anything that's providing results.
that's what we believe because of what we see on the field. That doesn't mean that the
That's what
work's
I
not good.
care about. I don't
You know how hard baseball is.
Right. I don't care if Lars Nootbaar's hitting tanks in the batting cage. Correct. I don't.
Well, then isn't it on Lars Nootbaar to put that in, turn that into
Yes,
a
of
game?
course it is. But you cannot tell me that all 8 of these guys just forgot how to hit baseballs. So who is at fault? Is it all 8 of them? Is it Turner Wood? Is it a mix of both? I know you can't DFA all 8 of those guys.
And also, I want everybody to understand, I'm not saying those guys aren't going to be good major leaguers. I'm saying there is always that possibility. We've seen it here before with guys we thought were
That if
going to
it's
be
all
great.
of
They were
them,
not.
here's the problem we're running into now. Is even if we were like, okay, this rebuild wouldn't be too bad if this happens because these guys, we have all these young guys that are good. Do we? Are any of
That's
them
my
good?
point. I hope so. My answer is I hope so. Like I do think again, I've told you before, I assess this team on June 1st. Like so I feel like this is a lot
I
of
mean, you have to
overreaction.
now.
I
Dude, they
get
just
it.
lost to the White Sox at home.
2 of 3.
At home to the Chicago White Sox after
Yeah.
losing a series to the Detroit Tigers.
So
They scored
give
one
hold on.
run today
It's painful to watch.
on a homer by Wilson Contreras.
Crochet was very good, but yes.
No, what was he or are we bad? I don't
Well
know.
that's fair. Give me and give our listeners and our viewers what is the again, put the ownership hat on Caleb
I'm
Noble right now.
sweating.
What are you doing? Like that's what I want you to know. I want you to tell us
If I'm the
what is
owner,
what are you doing?
I'm firing Turner Ward today. He's
And who are
gone.
you hiring?
Don't care.
See
Someone who
that
says anything different. That's what I'm saying, Dad. To me, I'm hiring myself and I'm just saying nothing and seeing if it works. I don't know, but whatever he's doing isn't working. This is what I'm having a problem with. Is we sit here and we say hitting coaches don't matter all that much, which I agree with. I think they do some. Some of them can do really great things. Some of them don't do. I mean, some of them maybe don't do that much. I don't know. But I do know that if you don't believe in hitting coaches and you don't think they do that much, then it shouldn't matter if you fire them. And if you do believe in hitting coaches, then you definitely need to fire him. So either way, like that's what I'm saying. Like they're both, no matter what side of the street you're on, I don't see a reason why changing it up and getting a new voice in there is a bad thing.
I guess all I'm asking is what voice is out there that is going to be better than a guy who has already been here for
I
3 years.
I mean, that's tough for me to answer because I don't have my hitting coach scouting list
I
on
understand that,
handy.
but do you see what
So
I'm
I don't
saying?
know.
Like,
I see what you're saying, and this might, and like I said, I just think there's one, and it's tough because once again, I genuinely don't know if it's his fault or not.
no, I don't
I don't
either.
know. Like I don't know if it's Ollie's fault, if it's Turner's fault, if it's just the players not aren't very good. But that to me doesn't that seem like the least likely thing that the players aren't good because we've seen them be good for 2 years. The last two
It
years they
does.
were good.
It does.
That doesn't it does not seem likely to me at all that all of these guys are just all of a sudden bad. So something's going wrong here. And
Yeah.
we've gone over this. Like the approaches are so bad. And if that's um Turner Ward's game playing this bad, which once again, I don't even think that's likely. This game, I don't think it's likely that his approach is bad. But if it's just that those guys are in the box and it's not computing, something's amiss, that's also a problem,
I
I
agree.
think.
I agree.
And it
Well,
sucks
we're
because
not
like
going to solve the
I don't want to
problems
talk
here,
about a
but
guy losing his job because that's his livelihood he's losing. That's his
correct.
family having to move.
Correct.
That's all these things that are more than me just sitting here and saying, I want my baseball team to play well. I
Correct.
get that. But if we're just talking about on the field and what this baseball team needs to do to be better, something has to change because 2 years in a row of this in St. Louis, it's going to look like the 90s here soon. And that can't happen.
Yeah, yeah, that's the concern. Now, let me bring this up to you because I do think it's interesting. I've been watching a lot of other games lately, along with the NHL and the NBA playoffs. But a lot of broadcasters around MLB are talking about the baseballs, that the exit velocities are higher than they've ever been, and balls are literally being caught in front of warning tracks everywhere. I'm not saying we know that MLB has had an issue with baseballs before, like
Mm-hmm.
every year, it feels like. We saw the uniforms. We know the baseball problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched today. I don't remember who was it. I think it was Lars hit one
Yeah.
of the
He
hardest
crushed that
balls
ball.
I've ever seen in my life, and it was caught in front of the warning track in center field. And I've
Mm-hmm.
seen this throughout the league. Now, home runs, I think that I read are down. Like if you look around the league, look at the stars. The home runs are way down from the
Yep.
stars. Do
Some
you
of
think
them.
there's? I mean, is this something to look at or not? Because we, like you said earlier, we're not pulling the ball, so maybe it doesn't even matter.
For the Cardinals, is something to look at?
For baseball, for Major League
Well,
Baseball,
for
I don't
baseball,
know.
yes, they've done this a few times. Like they did this
I
in
know they have.
2022 as well, where home runs were way down. For the Cardinals specifically, they're last in baseball with the same baseballs everybody else is using.
That's
So
very
I
valid.
don't give one singular shit.
Yeah, very
Why is
valid.
everyone? Eloy Jimenez didn't seem to think that baseball didn't
No,
fly
that
today when
ball was
he hit it.
crushed.
Like
That ball was crushed.
what am I supposed to care about here? Like everybody, how they have I saw a stat, and I don't know what it is now. They had given up like 20 more homers than they've hit. What? Baseball's my ass. You've given up 20 more than you've hit?
Yeah, it's.
What team makes a postseason doing that?
Let me ask you this. I really want your opinion on this because obviously you're on the Fire Turner Award train, which I completely understand. Do you actually
And I
believe?
hate that I am. I don't even want to be on that,
Here's the thing that concerns me.
but I am.
Okay, there's one of two things that potentially happen. One, you fire Turner Ward and you bring in a new guy, and all of a sudden they start hitting, and everybody says Turner Ward didn't know what the fuck he was doing. But yet we do know that in baseball things are cyclical. Okay, that
Yep.
isn't always an option.
Yep.
Or two, you fire Turner Ward and you bring in a new guy, and everything sort of stays the same. There's obviously going to be progression at some point,
Is
but
there?
I mean potentially. I mean there almost has to be.
We're over a month in,
However,
and they just played the White Sox, and they still didn't progress.
correct. However, what if it stays like that is the
Then you
worst case
know.
scenario right there.
Yeah, but right, but then you know, and you got to tear literally everything down. That mean if this season goes the way that it's trending, and I hope it doesn't. I hope they sweep the Mets and they're on a
Same.
roll. I hope so, and I hope Turner Ward's here, and I hope he's doing great. Okay, he shouldn't be, but I hope he is. If that happens, great. But if it doesn't and it continues to go the way that it's going, because right now this team just looks like a bad baseball team. Can we be honest? I've seen bad baseball teams. This looks like one of them. I
Yes.
saw it last year. I'm seeing it again. I don't know if you can tell me, well, their hitting's not lining up with the pitching and pitching's not lining up with the hitting. That's what bad baseball teams do, guys. And that's what they're doing. Either way, then if that happens and this continues and they lose another season, everybody needs to be gone. Like the young hitters stay, obviously, and you figure out, bring someone in that can help those guys and reach their potential. But everybody else, Mo, Ollie, everyone needs to go because that's 2 years in a row. And I'm sorry, you're the St. Louis Cardinals, and at some point in the last 10 years, they haven't acted like it. They have not
No.
acted like they are a proud organization in Major League Baseball, and their name is just continuing to get smaller and smaller and less recognizable. They don't look like the same organization I grew up watching. at
I
all right
agree.
now. And it
I
is
agree.
sad. Like they have. I'm not saying they're tarnished. I still think they can get that back, especially if they make a run this year, which is possible. But they're really on the verge of this, like the goodwill they built up in all of baseball and sports the last 20 years. Poof.
Yeah. It's gonna be
Like
rough.
they're gonna
It's
get
gonna be rough.
Warriors. And the Warriors at least won a bunch of championships. But they're like
Yeah.
where the Warriors kind of feel like, oh, they're done. They're irrelevant. That's where the Cardinals are headed.
I have way more faith in Steph Curry than I have on anybody on the St. Louis Cardinals, to be fair.
Yeah, I have a lot of faith in Sonny Gray too, but he can't do
Um,
it himself.
yeah, I think that we need to talk more about him next time. I don't really want to spend a lot of time on him.
Steph Curry,
No, Sonny Gray.
great player.
Lance Lynn unfortunately was not great again, or today was not great today. Whatever, like
Yesterday.
that's you're gonna get that from yesterday. Lance Lynn, poor, Libby was
He was
very good
bad.
today. Please
Yep.
let me say that. Okay, he pitched out of trouble twice, and I thought he did a really good job. He didn't deserve it though. Like I did. That's another, in my opinion, that's another organizational failure to have him starting when he's not built up to start, and now you've lost him for what, the next 3 to 4 days in the bullpen when you
At
could have
least,
brought
yeah.
up a guy out like Zach, whoever it is, fill in the blank. I
Klopfenstein.
don't, sure, Roberse, whoever, right? Whoever it is, you could have done that and let Libby be where it's. I'm very happy that Libby pitched well today. I'm
Yeah, me
simply
too.
saying that's another terrible. It's like they come up with 45 ideas and they just make the worst one you could ever make for not just the player but also for the team's future and in the short and long term. It just drives me wild. I'm happy for Libby today that he pitched well like he did. Whatever, that's fine. He wasn't great, but he did pitch out of a couple really good jams. It just doesn't seem like it was a smart move on the organization again.
Yeah, and here's the thing. This goes down once again to 40-man roster construction. You have Klopfenstein and Robersa, who wasn't available. So let's be fair. He had just pitched, so he was not even available. But you had Klopfenstein and Robersa. You put on the 40-man. If you don't think those guys can make starts on their start day when a guy gets injured, why are they on your 40-man?
Agreed. Yeah.
I get you didn't want them to be taken in the Rule 5. If you are so afraid to start them on one game where it's like, okay, let's get Klopfenstein up here just to give us hopefully 5 innings to save our bullpen against, once again, the worst lineup in baseball and the Chicago White Sox, then what is he on your 40-man for? And why do you care if he gets taken Rule 5?
Yeah. To just a couple other things, and I don't have much more because I mean, this was what we needed to talk about. Nice to have Dylan Carlson back. That's a positive for the St. Louis Cardinals. He didn't look great today, but whatever. Who
No,
cares?
he looked horrible.
Like you put him
He
in
looked
a right.
horrible.
But here's the other concerning thing. Gio's done. I've been saying this for a little bit that it's fastball. I mean, I just said it to me. It looked like, I haven't done the stats, and then I saw the stats come out. Fastball's down, slider is flat. He's just you rode him until the wheels fell off. They've fallen off. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
that they come back on at age 32 or whatever. He's 32 or 33. What you got
It's
out of
sad.
4 years from him is fantastic. I hate this, but I don't know. I don't know that you can keep it. He has to be either mop up duty or he can't be on your roster anymore.
I would bet a good amount of money he has an injury tomorrow.
Yeah, impingement. He'll have an
And
impingement.
and he should like and like they should not DFA him.
I
Like
agree.
you should put if he. I get this is obviously against Major League policy. We just saw David Stearns get in trouble for it. For some reason, when everybody else does it, he got in trouble for it. Still don't get why that happened. Was it David Stearns? Is that the guy that was on the Mets?
I believe so. Yes.
If that's the wrong
Yeah.
name, I'm sorry, but I
No, I
think that's
think
who
you're
it
right.
was. Um, Either way, he deserves an opportunity again to get back to this. But the dude has dead arm. Like, can we call it what it is? His arm's dead.
Yeah.
He got Mike Schilt just pitched him almost every day. And then it happened for multiple years. And then Ollie did it last year, even when he was bad. And this
Yeah.
year they haven't used him all that much. But I think, we talk about relievers get used and then thrown away. Drew Pomeranz, like where's that guy at? He
Right.
got used by the Padres, and I haven't
Yep.
seen him since. And that's just what happened to Gio. And it's that the reliever business is the worst to get into, unless you're Josh Hader. And even he put his foot down and didn't let it happen to himself. That's this Giovanni Gallegos is why when people talk about Josh Hader and Ryan Helsley being selfish for not always being available, I say shut up, dude.
Yeah.
Like they're protecting themselves here. Gio deserves the utmost respect from every Cardinal fan for the way he was available every day for this team and was great for 4 years. Not including last year and this year, obviously. He was available every day, every time they needed him. And he did that for the team. And I think it ultimately probably shortened his career.
You know who we're seeing that with right now, correct? Was the guy who went to your high school.
Brian Hudson.
Yes.
Don't put that out there. He's been great.
I'm not. Please understand that that's not what I'm saying. There's a lot. I mean, people are talking around like baseball circles. He is being used a lot right now, and at some point, Like you can only do so much. This isn't a shot at him.
Yeah.
This is fantastic what he's doing. I'm simply saying at some point your arm is going to give out. Like it is.
Andrew Miller.
Yeah, we've seen it. Well, Miller had a really long, I mean, much longer than Gio career.
Yeah. I mean, Gio was so good for 4 years, and
Yes,
it
he
bothers
was.
me so much that people continuously say that he wasn't because
Right.
he gave a home.
That's
High
just
leverage relievers, you always think are worse than they are because when they have a bad day, you lose.
yeah,
Okay, that's always how it is. But
that's
he
just wrong.
was great. Without him, guess what doesn't happen? The Cardinals don't make the postseason in 2021 or 2022 without
Correct.
Giovanni Gallegos.
Yeah,
So
correct.
it sucks. I hope he gets a month or two off and comes back and finds something, but it doesn't look good.
Okay, so before we get out of here, we got the Mets coming up. I'm not even making predictions because right now I just don't
I got
care.
one. I think they
Okay.
get swept.
Okay. All right. Is it here?
Yep. I'm going to game
Give me
two on
over
my
under
birthday.
30,000 a night.
Announced over.
No, 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 no. In the stadium.
Oh, under.
Yeah, agreed.
I'll be
Agreed.
at
Okay.
game two
All right.
on my
Sorry
birthday.
about it. Happy
I'm
birthday, by the way,
I don't even want to go.
in 2 days.
I really don't want to go. I really
Um,
don't.
okay. So give me a prediction. Turner Ward is a St. Louis Cardinal batting coach tomorrow, yes or no?
Of course.
Okay. The offense turns it around this week, yes or no?
No,
Okay.
they're bad. I think they're bad. Like it's
Worst
been a
case
month.
scenario.
I mean, what it's been since when the season started? March 28th.
Yeah.
It's no longer a slump. They're just bad.
All right.
How long can a slump be, Dad? Can it be 5 months? That's a whole
I mean,
season.
Aaron Judge has been terrible. He's starting to hit a little bit.
He homered
Alex
today.
I told you, everybody on my fantasy team, Alex Bregman, Corey Seager, Byron Buxton, like the list goes on and on. If they're on my team, they're bad. So, but
Well, hold
they've
on.
all had great
Yeah.
careers.
Can I ask you a question?
You can.
Um, how many times have you seen an entire offense slump for a month plus? A month and
I
a
don't
half.
have that I just don't have that answer,
That
but
doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
no,
Well, this comes back to Turner Ward, dude. You can't have a month as bad as this month plus. It's been like what? It's been like 6 weeks now. You can't have that at all throughout a major league season. It happened to start the year.
yeah.
You cannot have a 6 week stretch of baseball throughout a season as bad as this 6 week stretch has been, even if they turn it around. And I hope they do. And I hope they win the next
Same.
four. Next thing we're like, oh, they're at 500. Great. But you cannot do that offensively. It just can't
Do you
happen.
do you know what's hilarious? What's sad and hilarious is that not one team over the last 10 in the NL Central has a winning record. Not one. The Brewers, Cubs, and Cardinals are 5-5. The Reds are 2-8, and the
The
Pirates are
Cardinals
three
are
and
five
seven.
and five.
Yep. Yep.
Feels like they're freaking 0-10.
Yeah. I mean, they did well against the Diamondbacks and the Mets. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So what is that? That's almost the worst. It would almost be better if they were in the East and they were 14 games behind. Like
I mean, no, it's not because I want them to make
I
the playoffs.
so do I. But
But I just don't see it with this team. I don't.
it's
Arenado,
tough.
got to get to him because I'm mad. Okay, let's get to
Okay,
Nolan
let's do
Arenado.
that and then let's get out of here.
Okay, great game on Saturday. I don't care. He today they were down 4 runs. They were losing the game. Okay, I'm aware. The game was over. They were losing it. There was no way they were going to score 4 runs with 2 outs in the ninth. 100%. I don't really care. Arenado was up there. He took the worst at bat I've ever seen in my life in the last at bat. He wasn't trying. Like, let's just call it what it is. He wanted to get out and in that game. That's what it was. His last swing was on a four-seam fastball that he just swung and missed on. That was like 6 inches out of the strike zone. Away. You don't swing and miss on those pitches on accident. How does that happen? How do you give up? You gave up. I don't care what situation you're in. That's not acceptable ever. You want to talk about a guy who wants to set a tone for an organization to be a winning organization? That's not how you do it. You know who didn't ever do that? Albert Pujols never did that. Ever. Paul Goldschmidt never does that. He won't ever do that. You're supposed to be the face of the franchise. That's what you're doing.
What
I
did you
don't
think of his
care that they were
comments after the
losing.
game?
Yesterday,
Was it yesterday or today? I don't know when
where
it
he said
was.
that the bats were horrible in the 10th.
Yeah, and he essentially called everybody out.
Yeah, your OPS is like average. That's what my
Right.
response is.
Not even.
I get
don't
it. Like
think.
he's been better lately for sure. That to me, if you're a leader on a team, that's never acceptable to do.
I agree.
They were losing
I
the
agree.
game. I agree 100%. They were going to lose. He knew it. We knew it. Everyone knew it. But if you want to be a leader and you want to start setting a tone that you got to take better at bats and you got to figure out a way for this offense to get out of the rut it is in, and that's what you go do to end the game and end a series loss against the worst team maybe ever constructed. Like that's not ever okay to do as a leader or anyone.
That's the concern. So we got Mets. What do we have? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? I should have looked at this.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
You went
Mhm.
backwards there. All
Yeah,
right. Well, hey, let's cross our fingers that something changes. I don't believe that it's over here as a St. Louis Cardinal fan, but boy,
it
it is
feels
starting.
bad though,
You are
doesn't it?
starting to hear the warming up of the fat lady. It does feel like.
Was there a time last year where it felt this bad? Like before
Yeah.
like they were 10-24. You know,
Yeah.
it feels like the Giants series. Remember that series where Ryan Helsley got walked off on when they were finally going to win a game?
Yeah.
That's what this feels like.
So we
And I,
said the irony is, can I give you the irony that
Mhm.
I did say on this podcast that the first 35 games, if the Cardinals come out of that 16-19, I'd be happy. We're 15-19.
Yeah, but it's also about how you get there, and you can't
I
get there
mean,
by losing by to
there
teams
there
like
are
the White Sox.
multiple routes to the destination. That's all I'm saying.
Here's the thing that they are like well below 500 against teams above 500, and they just lost to the White Sox. So who are you
Final
beating?
statement from you. What's more likely that the offense picks it up or this is who they are?
It's more likely that they pick it up because if this is who they are, that's legitimately having like eight Martin Maldonados on your team.
Yeah. So
That's how
therefore, I'm
bad
not
they've
firing
been.
Turner Ward.
I mean, fair, but when's it gonna happen, Dad? Like
I know.
what
I know. I know.
was there ever a get we're never getting out of here.
Yeah,
But
we are because I got to get out of here.
was there ever a get right series for this offense like this one against
No.
the White Sox?
It
And they
felt
just
like it, but
didn't.
remember what I told you? Everything that it feels that way, it's never that way. So maybe it's the Mets. Maybe it's the Mets.
It was the Mets, and they won 2 out of 3, and then they suck again.
I'm saying now here, coming into town, maybe it's the
Right.
Mets.
So what? So what? They're gonna win another series and then lose another one. Like what? When are they gonna? Is this? Do you think? Do you see a path for this team being good, not average, good?
No,
There we are.
I don't. Um, Average. I picked him to win 80. What I pick him? 80, 70, 80 wins? I picked him to win
Something
80
like that.
games. 80 games. That's average. That's where I'd say they are.
Yeah, but we didn't think it'd be like
We're on
this. We thought it
pace
was
to
gonna
be
be
below that.
great offense, bad pitching. It's not. Why didn't we trade for Luis Ariz?
Because that's not
He
what the
was right there
Cardinals
for
do.
you.
Yep.
Right there for you. Could have had
Yep.
him. Didn't want him.
All right, let's get out of here. All right.
Yeah, I don't
Happy
want him.
birthday to you in 2 days. Everybody wish Caleb a happy birthday in 2 days. Hopefully, it's because of 2 victories. He will be in the bleachers. Hopefully, that's a victory. Hopefully, we're not dealing with this when we come back and talk to you guys here. You are coming down to the 504, though, here soon. So there is something like that to look forward to.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Hey, everybody's in the same boat with us. Thank you so much for listening. Hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button. Hopefully, we've got something a little more chippy to talk about in the next 3 days. Let's all hope for that to be the same way. Have a fantastic start to your week. We'll talk to you soon. Go Cards.